Hello guys, I hope you all are doing good. We are discussing the electromagnetics or EMFT, and today in this video we are going to talk about the boundary conditions of the electric field. We had already started this topic in the previous lecture and we had already talked about the boundary, the types of boundary, and there we had already seen one type of boundary condition in detail. What was that? Dielectric boundary condition. Okay, we had already seen that. We had already seen what is the refraction condition also when we had the dielectric boundary. Now today in this video we are going to talk about the second type of boundary condition, which is conductor dielectric boundary, and we are going to see all of these things in detail, that what is the tangential electric field, what is the tangential electric field density, electric field intensity, the normal electric field density, the normal electric field intensity. So we are going to talk about all of these conditions in the case of conductor dielectric boundary. So first of all we have a conductor. So this is the second medium which I am calling as a conductor, and the medium one is air. Let's suppose it is dielectric. We know air is dielectric. I had already given you one example of the conductor dielectric where I took the conductor as the copper in the previous video. If you have still not watched the previous video, it is highly recommended that you have to watch it first. Otherwise, a lot of things would be very a blur for you. You won't be understanding what is this different things over here, because I might be skipping all of the things that I have already discussed. Okay, so we have the electric field. So in the medium 2 I am taking the electric field to be E2, the electric field density to be D2. In the medium 1, electric field intensity to be E1, electric field density to be D1. E1 and D1 will be having the same direction, E2 and D2 will be having the same direction. Now if I resolve the components of E2, it will be E2T and E2N. If I resolve the component of D2, it will be D2T and D2N. Okay, so if I have to combine and if I have to write down what is D2, I can write D2 is equal to D2T plus D2N. Similarly, I can write down for E2 as well. Similarly, I can write down for D1. D1 I can also resolve in the two components. First is D1T and second is D1N. The normal component will be always perpendicular to the surface. So here we have a normal vector. So this is AN cap. Okay, the normal vector is normal to the surface of this conductor. Now if I have to resolve the component of E1, so it will be E1T and E1N. So the tangential component will be always parallel to the surface of the conductor. So these are all the tangential components. Now coming to the conditions. So if I am talking about the conductor, will there be any charge over the surface? So if I have any conductor over here, so the charge will not be present on the surface. So the charge cannot actually accumulate on the conductor. The conductor will be having sigma is equal to infinity. Okay, so when I have sigma is equal to infinity, sigma is equal to NQ mu N. Okay, that these equations we already know. In the case of conductor, sigma is infinity, N is constant, Q is constant. Now if I talk about mu N has to be infinity in the case of conductors, so that sigma will be infinity and we can call it a conductor. So when mu N is infinity, what we can interpret? Mu N is infinity, mobility is infinity. The charge cannot stop at any point. If I have various charges present over here, the charges will keep on moving. They will be having infinite mobility. So if I consider the E2, electric field E2 will be 0. Okay, if I talk about all of this surface, all of the volume present over here, these charges will be having infinite mobility and they will start going towards the surface, because after the surface they are not getting any way to escape. So they will accumulate on the surface, but inside the conductor we don't have any charge. Okay, so I can say sigma is infinity, mu n is infinity, which means I don't have any electric field present in the volume of the conductor. I can simply say E2 is 0. 2 is my the medium 2, which is the conductor. So E2 is 0. When my E2 is 0, D2 has to be 0 because D is the epsilon E. D2 will be is equal to epsilon E2. When E2 is 0, D2 has to be 0. So I can say E2 is 0 and D2 is 0. Okay. Or I can say when E2 is 0, it's both of the components will be 0. E2t and E2n will be 0. Now if D2 is 0, again it's both of the components have to be 0. So D2t is equal to D2n is equal to 0. Now coming to the boundary conditions, we have already talked about the boundary condition. I have already told you that we don't need to go into the derivation. So boundary condition says the E1t is equal to E2t. This was the tangential boundary condition. So if I talk about the E2t, I have already told you E2t is 0. So we can put the value of E2t over here, and the first inference that I have got is that E1t is also 0. If I talk about the air over here, so the air over here will not be having any tangential component of the electric field if I have conductor dielectric boundary. So in the surrounding dielectric medium, that is the air, the tangential component of electric field is 0, that is E1t is 0. Okay. Now coming to the second boundary condition, we had talked about this condition d1 minus d2 dot an is equal to rho s. Now if I talk about d2 is 0, so I can directly write down it as d1 dot an is equal to rho s, or I can say d1n, because d1 dot an is d1n. Okay. d2 dot an is d2n. So d1n minus d2n is rho s. So d2n was 0, so I can put d2n to be 0 here, or I could have directly put d2 to be 0. So I can write down that d1n is equal to rho s. So this is the second boundary condition. So if I have to find out the E1n, so E1n can be found out from the D1n. We can divide the D1n by epsilon naught and I can get E1n. So D1n was equal to rho s. If I divide rho s by epsilon 1 is the permittivity of the medium 1. So here if I divide rho s by epsilon 1, I will be getting E1n. So I can conclude that in the air or in the dielectric medium, I have the normal component of the electric field. In the surrounding dielectric medium, that is the air, the normal component of the electric field depends upon rho s. It will be present and it will be depending upon the rho s. I already told you, whenever we have conductor, inside the conductor we don't have any charge, but at the surface we have the accumulation of the charge. So how I can measure this charge? I can measure this charge with the help of surface charge density. So if this surface charge density is more, which means this electric field will be more. We just have only the normal component of the electric field and the electric field intensity as well as electric field density. We don't have any tangential component over this surface in the medium, that is air dielectric medium. In the conductor we don't have anything, neither E nor D. Okay, and neither the tangential component, neither nor the normal component. So both of the components are not present. So I hope all of these things are clear. So now if I talk about E1, E2, D1 and D2, how I can represent E1? E1 is the summation of, where is E1? E1 is the summation of E1n and E1t. Okay, so I had already concluded that E1t is 0. So I can directly put E1t is equal to 0. So E1 will be equal to E1n. E1n was not equal to 0. So I can conclude that E1 is equal to E1n. Okay. So here I will be having some electric field that I have already told you. Outside the conductor we will be having some normal electric field, and this is how we can measure the normal electric field. So E2 will be equal to E2n plus E2t. Okay, so the normal component, tangential component combined will be giving me E2. So E2n and E2t both are 0, so E2 is 0. If I talk about D1, D1 will be equal to D1n plus D1t. So if I talk about the D1t, so here E1t is 0, E1t is E is equal to d upon epsilon naught. So if I talk about E is equal to 0, D has to be 0 because epsilon is a constant. So D1t will be 0 if E1t is 0. So if I talk about D1t over here, it will be 0. So D1 will be directly equal to D1 of n. So this is the equation 3. And this is the equation 4 where D2 is equal to D2n plus D2t. Both D2n and D2t were 0, so D2 will be directly equal to 0. So now if I have the equation 1 states directly that in the medium 1 we have the electric field 1 which is perpendicular to the conductor surface, because we just have the normal component, so we have the perpendicular electric field. And the equation 2 represents that E2 is 0 when the electric field is 0, which means the potential is constant, so which means the conductor surface is the equipotential surface. So here this surface of the conductor is equipotential and we have the normal electric field intensity and the electric field density present. We don't have any tangential component in the surrounding medium, we don't have any component inside the conductor. So this was all of the analysis that we have done in the case of conductor dielectric boundary. I hope you understood each and everything. If you have still any kind of doubt, you can put the doubt in the comment or you can reach out to me. I hope I was able to explain all of these things and you were able to understand all of these things. If not, you can connect with me. And if you like this video, please push the like button, subscribe to the channel and also do share it with your friends. Thank you so much.